I think you know that. And anyway, let's move on to our next segment. You want to move on?
Go ahead.
Yes.
All right. So for this next segment, we're doing something new. So I call this "I'm not concerned, I'm concerned," or I'm pressing the panic button. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make uh, one issue or statement that we've seen so far in the season 65 of the UAAP. We'll try to cover as many teams as possible. Then I'll go to each of you guys and tell me if you're not concerned, you're concerned, or you're pressing the panic button. So let's go to something that we just talked about. Something that's easy, something that's closer to home. We talked about this a lot, and we saw how the Ateneo team performed earlier. So I'm gonna talk about Ateneo's bench. How concerned are you about Ateneo's bench coming into the remainder of the second round and possibly the final four or the finals? Sam, are you not concerned, or are you pressing the panic button with Ateneo's bench?
I am pressing the panic button with Ateneo's bench. Um, yes. I am pressing the panic button. Bakit? Because, well, they played a better game today. Pero, wala pa rin ako nakikitang consistent na contributor from the bench. And as you mentioned, Gap, thinner na nga yung bench nila. Shinorten na nila yung rotation nila ngayon. Probably because like Tab Baldwin probably gave up on the other guys. Like, okay, wala nang pag-asa tong mga ito. So I'm just gonna focus on like 4 guys na baka mag-break out for the remainder of the season. But I'm very concerned kasi I'm pressing the panic button kasi number one for me, Gio Chu, I feel like he regressed. I feel like he was much better last season. Possible din na baka mas scouted na siya. Maybe they weren't expecting him to be that good last season. So hindi masyado nag-focus yung defenses on him. But I feel like um, he's not playable a lot of times, if you ask me. He's just there because Kwame's in foul trouble. So that's one. Like I feel like Gio Chu regressed. Guys that I'm hoping would step up or do better this season have been inconsistent at best. I super shocked ako actually that Maui mentioned Chris Kuhn was shooting 18% from the 3-point line before this game. Honestly, like I was expecting something better. I know he wasn't doing well, but I was expecting better. But Chris Kuhn was known to be like that spot-up shooter, di ba, last season. 40% shooting nga, but 18% for the season. That's really bad. So, very concerning for me. And then, Josh Lazaro. We were so high on Josh Lazaro coming into the season, Cap. Sabi natin, he will really have the minutes. Especially with Rafi Verano out or even like, Will Navarro's also out. So, siya dapat yung role na yun eh, yung Rafi Will Navarro type of player for Tab Baldwin. But he hasn't been consistent. Defensively, he's really good. I think okay siya defensively. He gets rebounds. Pero on the offensive end, like I think I mentioned this to you guys, like hindi pa siya, I feel like natatakot pa siyang tumira sa loob. He misses a lot of shots inside or he gets blocked often. So hopefully like he gets that confidence. So honestly, if you ask me, I'm pressing the panic button for Ateneo.
Maui!
Ako naman, I'm not so concerned with the bench of Ateneo because of today. Just because of today na pinakita ni Tab that he's willing to go into those 8-9 guy rotations. I think it's not like yung previous years ng Ateneo, the previous 4 years Tab coached. But I think Ateneo really accepted the fact na they just don't have the personnel this year to have that 10 or 11 deep man rotation. I think the rotation going forward will be 8 or 9 guys depending on the matchup. Gio will probably rotate with Matthew Davis depending on the matchup sa bigs. if they're facing teams like UP and Lasal, definitely Giocho will get those wins. But if they're facing teams that are quicker, such as Adamson or even NU, they already faced NU. But if moving forward, if they face them in the Final Four, I think Matthew Davis will have to play more. But to me, ano talaga ngayon parang ang strategy ng Ateneo talaga is to try to get those chemistry between those 8-man rotation. Parang yung right combination of starters with those 3 or 4 bench guys will be crucial moving forward. But I think Tab will not go into a 10 or 12-man rotation unless they blow out games out. My main concern is yung starters actually. Kanina you saw Padrigao, he played 26 minutes but he got cramps multiple times. So and Ange Kwame had an injury scare. Pati si Kai Balungay had an injury scare. If they have to play more minutes, they might be more susceptible to more injuries, especially since it's a shortened season again. But since the UAAP is going on a 9-day hiatus, baka kaya rin si Tab nag 8 or 9 guy rotation. But I think right now, probably moving forward, they really are going to shorten the rotation. So I think the bench will be negligible.
Okay, so I'm in between the two of you. I'm not like Sammy that I'm pressing the panic button. I'm not Maui, not concerned because I am obviously concerned. I think we saw how much our bench sucks. But yung same reasoning as Maui why I'm just concerned because our starters can carry and what Coach Tab showed a while ago that kaya na stagger niya yung starters with some of the bench players to give the starters some rest and plus to get some bench guys there playing with the starters just to keep the just so they don't have a nasty fall plummet into nothingness there. But I'm also concerned because we are one injury away from the season ending. Diba? We talked about this before we went recording this podcast. Ange Kwame fell down, grasped his knee area, and I shouted to everyone who could hear and to the Lord that why Lord the season is over, why like this? But he got up, thankfully, and continue to play. So imagine if that happened to even just one player, to Dave, to Fortsky, even to BJ or to Kai Balungay. I don't think Ateneo will have a shot of beating UP because UP is so damn deep. So they need all the bodies they can get. So that's why I'm in the middle. I'm not like Simon and press the panic button yet. I mean, I think we're still there. We can still contend as long as our main guys are still healthy. Parang ano lang yan pare, yung sa slam dunk, yung Shohoku. Diba yung best lang na Shohoku pare, isang tao lang yun, si Kogure, yung may salamin. Yun lang yung bench player nila eh. So talaga kung may injure na isa or dalawa, yari sila kasi they're starting 5 plays the entire game. Same thing here sa Ateneo. Hindi ako magpapanik yung basta nandiyan yung 5. Kung may injure na isa or dalawa, wala na yan. Si Kogure lang yung ating sub eh. Si Kogure, si Gab Gomez saka sina Chris Kuhn. Yun eh. Wala na. But yeah, I'm not panicking yet. I'm also not concerned at all. So that's me.
Next.
Let's move on to our
next.
So our next issue is we saw a game a while ago where UST was on top and they blew it against Adamson. They were this close to their second win of the season, but they were upset by Adamson team without Jerom Lastimosa. And I think Maui, you pointed this out in our chat group. You saw the visible frustration in the face and the eyes of their star player Nick Caballero. So for my question, how concerned are you with Nick Caballero transferring to another school at the end of the season? Are you not concerned? Are you concerned? Or are you pressing the panic button if you're a UST fan?
Me, I'm definitely concerned. I tweeted out na Nick Cabanero was visibly frustrated nung end ng game, and you can see it's really wearing him down yung losses. I think he even said sa interview na kailangan may ibang mag-step up. But I think I don't know, parang may feeling ako na hindi siya aalis. Pero I don't know if all those frustrations boil up sa end ng season, but hopefully it doesn't go. I think he's primed to start sa UST for the next 4 years, so hopefully stays.
Hopefully stays, but how far does losing get? Well, to be fair, yung mga UP players in the past endured multiple winless seasons and still stayed in UP. So maybe he stays, but given the recent history of UST, of star players leaving, I won't be surprised actually if Nick Cabanero leaves. Sam.
I'm not concerned actually. Same with Maui. I feel like he's going to stay. Actually, I'm not sure kung hindi ko kasi maalala saan pero I either read or heard somewhere na there were actually opportunities for Nick Cabanero to leave but he decided to stay. So feel ko he's actually going to stay. UST is a good school. They have and they also now have like a sort of program, no? Alam kong it looks really bad now, but at least they hired Bal David, and it seems like he's very serious with establishing or re-establishing the UST basketball program. So growing pains. I mean, first year niya to coach, 'di ba? Actually marami na siya, and he went on a recruiting spree. Marami naman na recruit, but obviously like these guys are rookies. We can't expect them to all be, ready to play in the UAAP agad. So I feel like he just has to get through this, but I don't think there's any threat of him leaving, honestly.
Ako, I'm siding with Maui on this one. Sorry, Sam. I am concerned. I'm not pressing the panic button. I am concerned with Nick Cabanero leaving this season. I do think that I know that he's the star. He's gonna get all the chances in the world, but and that's good for his future. He's gonna put up numbers, but who's gonna watch UST games if you're not winning, diba? Who's gonna look at you if you're not winning? I think that's a concern too. We saw this with UP. They had good players in UP, but they didn't get the limelight because UP was not winning any games. And same thing with UST. If you don't win games, no one's gonna notice you. And I do think that losing counts for something. If you lose a lot of games, you kind of pissed off. What are they now? They 1-7.
Mental and psychological warfare.
Yeah, 1-7. Tapos I don't know if some school like let's say LaSalle or in the NCAA, San Pedro says, "Oy, come to our school. Dito ka yung dito ka yung maglaro, you're gonna be the star also, but you're gonna compete." Something like Robert Bolick, di ba? Maging Bolick ka namin, mananalo tayo championship. I would look at Nick Cabanero and say, well, that's pretty hard to turn down. And he's pretty young, di ba? You think he still has a lot of playing years left? I think he's 20 years old or something
19.
like that.
19 lang ata 19.
Oh, yung 19 years old? So he has a lot of college career, and even if he wants to turn pro somewhere, I think he could do it. So if I'm a UST fan, I am concerned of Nick Cabanero leaving. Because if Nick Cabanero leaves, I don't know who will get a bucket for UST. They have no one. Who's gonna score in UST if Nick Cabanero leaves? Legit. I'm sure you guys have watched some UST games. They literally have no one who can get a bucket for them. As in, kahit wide open shot, walang makahit ng tira. It's pretty rough to watch UST. So, ako, I'm siding with Maui. I am concerned about UST and Nick Caballero. So let's move on to our next issue. So let's move on to the other team that was on the winning end of that game a while ago, the UST Adamson game. How concerned are you with Jerom Lastimosa's injury? I think Maui said it was a dislocated toe. Was there any mention of how long it was gonna be before he comes back, or if he's coming back at all? So, how concerned are you? Are you not concerned? Concerned, or are you pressing the panic button?
Ako definitely pressing the panic button. When you see a player's out indefinitely, it's really crazy. You don't know what will happen. I saw a picture of Jerom Lastimosa also, tweeted by their coach, something to do with him wanting to get the ear of the commissioner. I think that he feels like Lastimosa was injured intentionally. But I saw the picture and he was wearing a walking boot. When you're wearing a walking boot, you're definitely out for a few weeks. And they're lucky that the UAAP has a 9-day break. But I don't think, even if he returns, I don't think he will be primed to play as best as he can and play the same way he did nung early season. And yeah, buti kung hindi siya primary ball handler, but he has to carry the load. So, and it's his last playing year, so I don't know if it would be worth it for Jerom Lastimosa also to risk further complications to injury. I think his return will be contingent on them winning a few games without him. Like kanina, they were able to squeeze out a win without him, down 16 points. But if I'm Adamson, I'm really pressing the panic button, to be honest. What do you
Sam,
think, Sam?
are you as worried as Maui?
Yes, I agree with Maui. I'm pressing the panic button. Hindi ko alam na out indefinitely actually. So that makes things worse. Pero I was gonna say lang, kahit maliit na sugat lang yan sa kamay ni Jerom Lastimosa. We're talking about Jerom Lastimosa. The guy that's carrying the entire team. Like, seryoso, they were very lucky that they won earlier. Baka it's more of a problem with UST than a problem with Adamson. But realistically speaking, I don't think they're going to beat any other team without Jerom Lastimosa for the remainder of the season. So, kahit anong ding or basta hindi 100% si Jerom Lastimosa, I would be worried for UST, for Adamson. So, the fact na he's out indefinitely, naka-walking boot siya, time to panic for Adamson. I think yung gusto natin na competitive, yung Final Four race, it's looking more like nag-shorten na yung candidates. If looks like Lasal is out, Adamson's also out for me.
But Adamson and Yui are tied, right? Aren't they tied in the standings?
Yes,
I forgot, I didn't look at the
for
standings. They're tied, right?
wins. O baka mas mataas pa Adamson actually. I'm not sure.
Oh, 4 wins. So, what Maui said about worth it, I think Jerome would push, to return. I think he wants to go out at least man lang with a Final Four appearance. So, in terms of if it's worth it, I think Jerome will come back. Try at least to come back. I don't know how, but he will try. As for my concern level, I am with you guys. I am pressing the panic button to on Jerom Lastimosa's injury. Kasi nga, tangina, kaya nyo mag-Final Four, mga Adamson fans, pero injured yung main guy nyo. The only guy who can get his own bucket in your team, and he's injured and out indefinitely. So I'm definitely, yes, I agree. I am pressing the panic button with Jerom Lastimosa's injury. Sayang. And the remaining schedule, I think, is really tough. They still have Ateneo. No, they played UP already. Have they played LaSalle? They haven't played LaSalle, no. But at but
Dapat.
at this point, I think they can beat LaSalle. I mean, LaSalle's playing like shit. So, uh, Ateneo's their last round. I think they have a solid chance of making it to the final four. Uh, but yeah, I am impressed with Panic Moton.
Wala, basta walang
uh,
Lastimosa,
what?
hindi nalo.
Tagilid ako, tagilid.
Oh,
Tagilid din. Like Sammy, every game is, you don't know what to expect, honestly. Si Vince Magbungos was also injured. I think he didn't play kanina. So that's another concern. But, yeah, definitely a big concern if Jerom Lastimosa will be 100%.
all right. So let's move on to our next
Next.
concern. Uh, I'm gonna go with. I know this might be a bit sacrilegious, and they're on the top of the standings. They look unbeatable, but let's look at UP. We saw earlier that Carl Tamayo was not gonna participate in the Gilas games for this window. JD Kagulangan is coming off a hamstring injury, which he re-injured coming back against Ateneo. What are the chances he came back against Ateneo? But if you're a UP fan, how concerned are you with the health of Carl Tamayo or JD Kagulangan coming into the last stretch of this UAAP season and coming into the Final Four and the finals? If they make it to the finals, they probably will.
Ako definitely not concerned. Not concerned with any lingering issues with UP. I think they had the luxury of bringing Kagulangan slowly, except for the Ateneo game. Si Carl Tamayo naman, I think he's probably not that 100. He's not at 100%, but he has to take a break. He's been playing basketball since early this year with stints with Gilas and the training. Nag-overlap pa nga yung training ng Gilas and yung FIBA schedule training and both the games. But I think Carl Tamay is playing it safe kasi pa Final Four na rin. He can't risk getting injured. So I'm not concerned. Definitely not concerned with UP. They have the personnel. They can rest Tamayo. Tamayo scored 0 points, I think, a while
Yes.
ago. They still handily defeated UE. Mike Galinato has been amazing itong last few games nila. Dio,
Henry Galinato.
sorry, Henry Galinato has been amazing. Dio is playing out of his mind. Si Lucero has really improved a lot, and even si Fortea has been very hot. I think UP has the luxury to rest these players. They're at 9-1 and they already clinched their Final Four slot a while ago. I think one more win would give them the Final Four the twice to beat advantage. So tingin ko talaga coasting na lang UP, coasting na UP within the next few weeks. Ang main concern ko sa kanila is if they relax too much because of the tight race for number 2, 3, and 4. Most probably they would be more complacent, taking it like a while ago, hindi na nila binabad si Carl Tamayo and si Kagulangan. But si UP, I'm not concerned right now.
Sam.
I'm with Maui here. I'm not concerned. Syempre, kakabahan ka ng onte, no? Kapag sinasabing hindi 100% si Carl Tamayo. But I think tama yung sinabi ni Maui. I think it's more of a precaution. Very, very lucky din yung UP and sina Carl Tamayo because there's a 9-day break. That's a big thing for guys that play two games a week, diba? So I think that's a big break for UP. That gives them more time to rest and recuperate, get Tamayo to 100%. And same thing, just like what Maui said, I think we've talked about this in other episodes. May mga games na kahit close game, hindi pinapasok si Tamayo to close the game, di ba? Like, they're that good and they're that deep na kahit it's sort of a close game, they have the luxury of not bringing back Tamayo if hot si Lucero or si Dio, whatever. So, not concerned, actually.
All right. I'm with you guys. Oh, obviously. Even with there is a slight concern with JD Kagulangan possibly re-injuring the hamstring. I've had pulled hamstrings before, injured hamstrings, and they're tricky. You feel you're all right. You're running, you feel you're all right. Then in one play, oh shit, I feel it again. So you never know. But again, just a slight concern. They're pretty deep. They have so many guys that they can play. You know, this guy Cyril Gonzalez is also a point guard. He can ball as well. Diba? Si Carl Tamayo, same thing with you guys. You know, Coach Gold doesn't even play him for long stretches. Diba? Because they have the luxury of so many guys who can play his position. You can put Zave there, Henry Galinatos there. Uh, sino ba ba? I forget the other players. Basta, ang dami lang tao. They're so deep. So, not concerned at all with that. I do want to get to this next topic. Possibly our last one. We're going on. How many minutes are we? Probably
50.
50 minutes
Almost
already.
an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, almost an hour. So our last topic, I'm gonna go actually with FEU. They're on a run. They can contend for the Final Four. Uh, so my question is with a player who we've talked about possibly the entire season. How concerned are you with Cyrus Torres? Uh, Maintaining or possibly losing his shooting stroke? Are you not concerned? Are you concerned? Or are you pressing the panic button?
I'm not concerned kay sorry, I go first. I'm not concerned kay Cyrus Torres. Actually, to bring it up, actually, I'm more concerned with LJ Gonzalez. Yung injury ni LJ Gonzalez. It was reported that he didn't play a while ago, but it was reported that he was getting an MRI on his knee. He landed pretty badly, I think, with when he went for a block nung game against Lasal. But same with Adamson. If LJ Gonzalez is gone, I think FEU. I'm a big believer of FEU. You guys know that. I call them a possible sleeper despite them being 0-5. But if LG Gonzalez is out, even if Cyrus Torres balls out, I think they're dead. They need that stabilizer. They need that consistent player that would attract the defense and basically command their offense. They're a very good defensive team, but as we've mentioned the whole season, their offense goes into shambles at times, which was relevant also sa game today when they only scored 22 points nung second half and NU was able to come back from a 16 or 18 point deficit. What about you, Sam? What do you think?
Um, I was super high on Cyrus Torres last season. Alam mo yan, Gab. So, I'm actually gonna go with concerned. Honestly, like, all throughout this season, medyo hindi ako happy dun sa performance ni Cyrus Torres. Like, on and off siya eh. I guess that's the thing, no? Inconsistent siya this season. So, I'm a bit concerned kasi I was really expecting more from him. Given na nawala din si RJ, diba? So, it was really just LJ and Cyrus Torres. So, now wala pa si LJ, defenses can focus more on Cyrus Torres or the other guys, diba? That's one less guy that they need to worry about. So it's going to be even tougher for Cyrus Torres to get his shot back. To be fair, I think one of the reasons why mababa din yung shooting percentage niya is he shoots a lot this season. He shot a lot in the past few games. But I think kailangan niya eh. Walang ibang titira or gagawa eh. So, we'll see. But I'm a bit concerned. So, I would go concerned.
So sorry, Maui. I am siding with Sammy here. I am concerned. Nung 0-5 start, ng FEU coincided with very cold shooting for Cyrus Torres, and their four straight wins. Was it four straight? It was, diba? It was four straight.
Four straight.
Yeah, their four straight wins coincided with Cyrus Torres gaining a little bit of his touch and hitting threes. And from what I've watched from FEU, their offense is not that great because they don't have a lot of scoring to go to. But the lanes open up for their guards like Sahonia, Patrick Sleet, Royce Alforque. The lanes open up when Cyrus Torres is hitting his threes. It's not a coincidence that their 4-game winning streak yung coincided with Cyrus Torres hitting more shots and scoring more points. I think the first half a while ago was a good example of the Cyrus Torres effect. When he was hitting his threes in the first half a while ago against NU. And when he was hitting his threes, they were balling. The other players were hitting threes. Sahonia was getting to the paint. Sino ba? Si Patrick Sleet was getting to the hole. Pero this guy, si Bautista, he was able to penetrate just because of we talked this a lot about shooters. Steph Curry does this every time. The gravity that he pulls from the defense. Same thing with Cyrus Torres. He's just a good shooter that when they run plays for him, the defense zones in on him and it opens up a lot. So I am concerned. He's been, like what Sam said, he's been very on and off. The inconsistent shooting is a concern for me. If he's having an off night, the other people will have to carry the offense without LJ there. And it's harder for other people to generate offense. And even si Patrick Chuente needs a lot of open space to make a shot because he's even contested for a while. He can't make even the easiest of shots. He's not that gifted of an offensive player. He needs a wide open basket para makatira siya. And that's also a function of the shooting and the space that Cyrus Torres creates. So I am concerned. They have a shot for the Final Four. It's kind of exciting. I think. Who do you have? I did say that I'm pulling for UE to make the Final Four. I think Sam had LaSalle making the Final Four with the fourth start, and then Maui had FEU. So have those changed? I'm sure Sam's not gonna say LaSalle anymore. So Sam, who do you have making the Final Four?
Ang hirap kasi kung babalik si LJ, I'm going to say FEU. Pero if they're going to miss LJ, then you know what? I feel like it's going to be UE. That could scrap their way into the Final Four. For me, yun na lang dalawa. Medyo tagilid na sa akin yung LaSalle and Adamson.
All right. So Sam has changed. LaSalle is gone from the Final Four prediction. We now have UE or FEU making it. So that's it, boys. That's the show for the day. Sam, please sign us off.
Okay, but before we end, I think hindi natin masyado na pag-usapan yung one of the hottest teams right now, NU. I know you guys talked about NU. I'm sure you guys talked NU the last podcast. So ako, I just want to apologize to Patrick Yu kasi I was shitting on him sa chats natin before kasi he wasn't that good nung first round. But last game he killed us with his crucial free throws. Then this game I think siya yung nagpalayo nung game. Yeah, siya yung nagbuhat talaga. So kudos to Patrick Yu. Sorry for talking trash about you dun sa mga chats namin. Grabe yung NU. Nakakatakot talaga sila na team. So yun.
We don't talk trash about Patrick Yu because he's a bad player. We talk trash about Patrick Yu because he's very annoying. He's very dirty. That's why we talk trash about Patrick Yu. He's a dirty player.
I know.
He grabs, he holds really jerseys.
Pero galing niya lately. Mainit siya lately.
Just to add about Patrick Yu, I think we mentioned yung him being a dirty player. But Patrick Q once upon a time was also one of those heralded recruits because of his size and skill. So I'm happy. I'm happy whenever a player turns around and stands up and makes a career for himself. So hopefully this is a start for Patrick Yu. NU is very scary. You don't know where it's going to go, where it's going, where you're going to get when you face NU. Di mo alam sino yung gagawa talaga. I mean, against Ateneo, it was Manansala, and today it was you. But happy for the program na nabuhay ulit ang NU program.
Yeah,
The
I
dark
agree.
horse, baby. The dark
Yeah,
horse.
dark
We called
horse.
it. Wait. We called them dark horse, but we didn't expect them to go, battling for
To
number two.
overachieve like
Or
this.
even,
Oo nga.
that
Yeah.
talagang they're playing you out of their minds, and I love the way they're playing.
Well coached also. So, ayan. As I promised, we talked about each team. Kahit short lang yung iba, but we did go over all of the 8 UAAP teams. So, huwag kayong magalit sa amin. We talked about all the teams. Stay tuned. We'll see if we'll have another podcast right during the break, or we'll have it na during the next games. But please don't forget to comment. Let us know what you think about this podcast. Did you like the new segment that we have? Yung rating the concerns. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. See you. Have a good night.
See
Thank you.
you.
Bye bye.